Welcome, everyone, to episode 187 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff and podcasts, too. My guest today is Tim Chizmar. Tim is awesome, and I'm going to just do this quickly before we begin. This, for whatever reason, this recording is not the best at all. I've worked an awful lot to get it to where it was at now. I don't know what exactly happened to this conversation. It is a good one, though. We talk about dick pics. We talk about memoirs. We talk about writing. We talk about cats. Tim is an amazing human being, and he's accomplishing an awful lot right now, and I'm actually really proud to know him. So he's definitely given me some ideas on how to approach my podcast career from here on, and he's just an all-around good dude. So I really feel like I just didn't quite do him justice here. That all said, you can try giving it a listen, and if, like I said, if the quality isn't quite what you guys want, hopefully I'll get him back on the show and do a proper one, because honestly, he's a really, really cool dude. But yeah, no, so I'm just going to get right into it. Here's my conversation with Tim Chizmar. I'm officially turning the recorder on. Anything incriminating you'd like to say, make it good.
I didn't know if it was intro, brother. I didn't know if you were going to do like a little, a little thing or something.
No, it's okay. This is usually how I start.
Okay, alright. Well, hey, so let me ask you, the show is called Joshing Around.
Just joshing.
Joshing. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Josh, and on your Facebook it says Joshua.
Yes.
What's the deal, man?
Okay, so this is the deal. Professionally speaking, I am Joshua Pantelleresco. The reason that is the case is because my grandmother, as a little kid, goes, you can let anybody call you Josh if you want. But professionally, you are Joshua. It's stuck. It's brainwashing that's stuck.
Because I was looking at that. It's just funny. I have a little bit more sex story. My writing name is Tim Chizmar, but my Facebook is Timothy Chizmar. And the reason for that is because a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I had an account with Tim Chizmar. And here's the thing. I like getting naked. Now, here's the other thing. I joined where people post pictures of themselves naked. So I said, hey, these are my people. And unfortunately for me, somebody's reporting the pictures.
Oh!
No way to get out of it, because Facebook said you are naked, it's just not you. And I had to be like, yeah, but here's the thing, and they didn't care. They still thought, I had like, whatever was 5,000, fans, followers, whatever, friends, I guess. And it was belly up. I even talked to a woman who has a friend at Facebook corporate, and nothing could be done. I was, a real scumbag. But it was a private group.
Yeah, well, it's a strange thing.
I invited so interested in stuff, and people when they invite me to private dating groups, I don't post shit anymore.
Well, you can't now.
Or your people are involved, but I will not be very much. Well,
this goes to a theory of mine, because I certainly have gotten my own fair share of trouble. Dick pics cause you nothing but grief.
So true. And you think the pain's on the other side. No, sometimes the danger is also in a rough spot.
Yeah, no, it just honestly, it just doesn't end well. No matter how you look at that. See, this is the thing. Like, okay, I've met some women who will show you everything, which.
Yeah.
And they get away with it just fine. But, you whip it out, you're dead. It's like, for whatever reason, it's just like...
Well, you just reminded me of a story I haven't thought of probably, years or something. I was working I had a date on a sales office for off hours. And there was a girl there who was working. She was a nudist. She was very open about being naked, and she started sending me all these naked pictures. And she would also kind of flirt with me all the time. And she told me she had a dream about her driving a car, and I had an erection. She was shifting with my dick. And so after all this and sending me naked pictures, one night I responded with mine to them. And I got a phone call from her boyfriend. I just got a picture of Mr. Tim.
that's the thing, right? It's a weird thing. I just have this rule now. Nothing good comes from dick pics. No, you want to see if you want to see it in person. That's how. It's
you know, this is where I thought our conversation was going.
No, you and me both, bud.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I'm very pleased to be invited on your show, and you and I were guests on Silly Awesome and fun, and even after the show was done, you and I kept chatting it up, so
yeah.
I thought it was great.
No, I thought, so I thought, like, you clicked really well. I thought me and you had the right idea of pushing Jason in particular out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, I've talked to him quite a bit since then. I know you did an episode of yours, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I know. I actually just did the interview with him today. So he thought he was sly, but I figured I'd let him go with this. He was actually interviewing me. So this trick has been done to me before. So I kind of like, but I'm easy going. This is about him getting a chance to express himself as best he can. For him, this is a big step, like, because he's coming out of his shell. And
the funny thing is, you never tell somebody else's thing. When I came on this show before, him and Dave hosting it, so I thought he was a lot more confident about stuff. You know, he's one of the hosts of the podcast, and then it turns out that he's a little more shy about saying that. And that's a big deal. You know, just like you and I told him on the show. If he walks in and says, I'm in trouble with games, that's, you know, a big deal.
yeah, no, and like I said, and I don't think he fully real. Like, I'm just getting, like, the reality for me is it's sinking in just how many people I know doing this podcast.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm still at shock. Like literally right before I talked to you, a friend of mine who's an agent asked me to get her client an interview down the road. That's why I was late. But that's that is such a weird spot for me.
I talked to one client.
Yeah. I'm still waiting to hear back from them on an email, but basically when a time's available. But yeah, totally. Why not? Right?
Yeah, it's great, man. It's office. Hey, speaking of office, I don't know a whole lot about your book. So what do you have out?
So currently I have 3 books out: The Watcher, Storm Dancer, and The Wandering God. They are Gilgamesh-style epic poems with illustrations. The synopsis is: The Watcher is about a slave boy who kills his dragon masters and goes into a post-apocalyptic wasteland, discovering it's more life than being a slave. Storm Dancer's book 2. So without spoiling book 1 too much, the Watcher goes missing, and his friends, led by this girl named Kristen, go on their own post-apocalyptic journey to try and rescue him, discovering, what family's all about. And the third book, The Wandering God, is a culmination of the series. I introduced flying saucers, dragons, and something called The Wandering God from the very beginning. So have
you given more thought to what I said about writing like a memoir?
I have. My initial response to that is yes, but not right this minute. Probably next year. It's going to be a next year project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to re-listen to my podcasts and the good, bad, and indifferent. I have one small challenge, and that is the author that was involved. I have to figure out what the right line is because, to be honest, I don't want to blame him because that's not what really that story is about. But he is part of that story, at least at the beginning. So there's got to be like a line on that, right? There's some little details like that, and there's a couple other things I need to really, really sit there and think about. There's a lot of things I've never talked about that time in my life that I'm not quite sure I want to go public with on some of it. But on the flip side, it's also a good story because it's just there's me at my worst and then me coming out of it, right? So, and I think
it's very important, and the further you get removed from it, the less you're going to be able to talk about it. If I ask you to write that memoir 20 years from now.
Oh, 20? No, it would not be 20 years from now. It would be the reason why. Honestly, I'm so booked this year. I have 2 more books, maybe 3 more books I'm working on right this minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got to clear my plate a little bit before I really, really do that with justice. Because something like that, it's very personal, and there's some stuff that obviously I got to figure out, but more importantly, the right time. You know what I mean? It has to be the right.
No, I completely understand. My memoir, California Dreaming, is about the lowest point of my life. There are things that I'm choosing not to put because the overall emphasis is about inspiration and finding out what true happiness is and that kind of thing. So throwing in there that one time I got a transsexual back to my room, it doesn't really fit the.
No, it doesn't really fit the narrative. Although, okay, like for me, I got into a relationship, but it started under really, really awkward circumstances, and like it's not some like I'm not proud of this. I'm cool with the relationship that happened. The circumstances it started, I'm not as proud of, and it's not me being afraid to acknowledge my own flaws, but I don't know how much it really has to do with the grand story in general. Outside the fact that honestly, in all fairness, if it wasn't for her, I don't know if I would have gone through it as well as I did.
Yeah. But the point is, when it comes to memoirs, you can have multiple. You can have one about your writing, one about your sexuality, one about childhood, one about fishing, whatever the hell. That's the beautiful thing. So this particular memoir that I have coming out is about killing the sea monster and like getting over ego and the whole Hollywood trap. And that's good. That's nice. But I also have, a dirty, dark, sexy side that I'm going to do in another memoir, which I'm calling Sex Now That I Have Your Attention. So that's true. That one's coming out next year. That'll be all like dirty, wild, crazy sex stories about dungeons in LA and shit, which totally doesn't fit the other thing, which is fine. I'll keep it under my other banner. The inspirational life stuff goes under Tim Chizmar, and then Spooky Ninja Kitty is where I put all my trashy, bizarre stuff.
Well, and that sounds like an awesome place to put trashy stuff. Spooky Ninja Kitty sounds amazing, actually. So.
They love my cat.
Yeah, really.
I love my cat, and I hate cats. I never understood cats. So aloof and snooty, and dogs get a lot of attention and stuff. So there's this cat. When I was in North Hollywood, my whole life was getting rough. The only thing that I had to hold on to was that this homeless cat took a liking and wouldn't go away. And I threw a cup of water at him one day. I was a jerk to him, and I thought it was a girl too because it had like hard nipples. So I thought this cat must have like birth and just like an after effect birth. Anyway, so I called her Spooky Ninja Kitty, and she was my little princess. And slowly we grew this relationship where it did things that other people told me cats wouldn't do. Like I could snap my fingers and she'll come to me, and people were like, you can't do a cat, like, watch this. And so, we had a relationship where it grew from, I asked to eventually I'm eating it and sleeping like that, and we're just the best of friends. Anyway, it started having this bad problem. It had exposed nerves, it was starving itself to death, so I took it to the vet, and that's where I found out that it was a boy. And then also, a friend raised $1,500 to fix this stupid food. And I just totally fell in love with this cat. And, my friend's watching him right now, but he's here with me in this condo, and my landlord looks into plot hole server. But I will absolutely pick him up for wherever I go after December. And I love the cat. So I'm making a whole publishing house after this stupid cat. And let me tell you the attitude. I've been calling, him a princess and my little, all this and that. And then after I go back from the vet, they're like, oh, the dude, it changed our relationship. Where it's like, hey, what's up? You don't have to cares about it.
Well, listen, you treated your cat kind of like a drake. It's all good. So, but in all seriousness, it sounds like the cat came to your life when you needed it.
And it was an amazing cat. I love it being a cat. And I ate all the little things, like when there's fireworks going off outside, like snuggling on my chest, like scared of the fireworks, and it's sweet, and he was feral. He has cat AIDS because he was an outdoor cat and homeless his whole life. He fought raccoons and stuff, so like he has cat AIDS, and he's just he didn't like anybody, but for some stupid reason he likes me, and that changed his whole life. Now he's an indoor fluffy cat. Healthy cat, and my friend's taking care of him, and I wouldn't see him a few months ago, and I spent a year in Idaho trying to get my life together, so I hadn't seen the cat in a year. My friend has been watching him, And that's when I was, homeless and going through all kinds of crazy, depression and stuff. But when I went back to see him, I kind of hoped the cat would remember me, because that makes my life a lot easier. So I went in there, and I'm like, the cat, God dang it, the cat loves me still. He came over, it was all about me, and the guy, my friend, was like, yeah, he does everything over. I don't know what it is, but the cat loves me.
Well, there's just something, there's a connection there, and that's cool.
Yeah,
Well, hey, listen, anything that loves you, you have to respect, because that's just.
He deserves a good retirement home. That's what I always say. That cat deserves. He had a rough life. He deserves to, I'd like to give him a good last 5 years of his life.
Yeah, so that's what you're coming close to that. It sounds to me so.
Yeah, he's an old man. He's in his teens, I think. But anyway, it's you never know when life's gonna throw away, man. I wish people were as simple as that cat.
Oh, jeez. One of the things I've had to kind of do in the last couple of years is I've had to look at my standards for people. In some ways, I've felt like I've lowered them. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but I simplified them, and I find that it's easier. Are you going to be there or aren't you going to be there? If the answer is yes, cool. If not, okay. But it took me a long time to kind of get to that point. Like, it's people are strange, fickle, like, unexpectedly noble in some instances, unexpectedly weak in others. And it's surprising every time.
It's disappointing sometimes when, when they say a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And somebody is your bestie, and then, then suddenly you're practically strangers, Well, before I left Hollywood, I had super big eyes. I sold TV shows, and did all kinds of great stuff. But towards the end, I was happy, miserable, and I had 3 friends who were the closest to me, and, it's just interesting looking back on it. Like, I don't even talk to 2 of them, It's funny where life takes us. And I used to feel bad about that, because it was, there must be something wrong with me. But the truth is, when I look at people's wedding albums, and I look at their best men or their bridesmaids, most people don't keep in touch with all them. They had a wedding 10 years ago, and you're like, hey, we had a phone man, so-and-so moved away, blah, blah, blah. That's part of life. I'll tell you something that was kind of poignant, and I hope I'll word this properly, but when I was a kid, like a little kid, I used to do, yard work with an old man, and I always thought, my mindset was that, the longer you live, Josh, the more friends because you're alive. So by the time you're an old man and you have a funeral, that place should be full of people who love and miss you. But I went to a couple of funerals with him of friends who passed away, and there was nobody there. And there was a little kid in my town who died, drowned, and the funeral home was full of hundreds of people. So it's really weird that in life it's the opposite. Everybody loves you at the beginning, and then the longer you're around, people, are busy with their own lives, their own families, their own all this stuff, and, you kind of, forgot.
Well, it's not... Okay, so I've moved 35 times. So I have a very... my perspective is I've made a lot of friends, and I've said goodbye to a lot of friends. Right? We don't talk, or life just moves us in different directions. I made a conscious decision a long time ago to chase my dreams. Not many people actually really do that. A lot of people will have dreams, but then they go to college and stuff, and they settle down. They gotta get married, have kids, have a job, house, all that stuff. I could get I wouldn't mind having a wife and kids someday, but truth is told, in the grand scheme of things, most of that stuff does not appeal to me at all. So what I'm finding now is,
don't you feel like you should? Because and listen, therapists get mad at you for saying shit. I should do this, I should do that. They say stop shoulda on yourself. Well, the thing is, after I'm married, I have no kids, and oftentimes I feel like, is this something am I missing out?
Well, okay, so this. Okay, so I'll answer that first, and I'll get to my point. I look at it like this: if I'm with the right person, then yeah, I'm missing out. If I'm not with it, look. The reality is today, most people that get married today, it doesn't last. Not everybody. I mean, some people are very fortunate. But by and large, it does not end well somewhere down the road. So I think so. This is what usually happens to them. You get married young. 20s, 30s. They go through their life. They get their house. They have a couple kids. And then what usually ends up happening somewhere along the way, there's a falling out. And then everything goes to hell for a couple years. And then once there's a bill to go on. And there's a cycle of this. And then those people get to about 39, 40, 45 years old. And then they want to be me. They want, why the fuck did I waste my life doing this stuff? Why didn't I chase this, and this?
Well, that is the thing. The kids are selfish. I've worked with behavioral, like kids with behavioral issues and stuff like that. And the truth is, I cared and I was happy to spend time with them, but god dang, they're selfish and they only care about what you did for them yesterday. I would do the biggest, most expensive, elaborate thing, and the next day they're kind of like, well, what do you got going on? What are you doing now? Jeez, man, buy me a steak?
Well, okay, so here, my take on kids is this. If I bring them into the world, that's different. I brought them in. I had the itch, I scratched it, they came. That is totally on me. But if other kids, no, I can give them to their parents. I'm good with that. But
my friend Courtney Dan, who runs clothes3.com, his lifestyle website, he says he loves kids, but he just loves kids he doesn't have to pay for.
Exactly. Well, like I said, I think if it's your own kids, you look at that a little differently. But when it's not your kids, man, you don't look at them the same way. You just don't. I look at it like,
are your kids? They're here to replace them. That's the thing,
But that's fine. But here's the thing: you started that process. So if you start that process, there's that's. And again, this is just my take on this.
You should do a PSA about this and that. It sounds like you're pretty hardcore against it. Very, very, very much. My point is, it's like, if I'm deadbeat dads and moms both, by the way. There are some deadbeat moms out there too. My whole thing is, if you are going to bring somebody into this world, your job, I think, at that point is to make them better than you are. Not because they did not ask to be born. And that's the bottom line. Like, you brought them in, you should do what you can to provide the very best you can. Well, there's so much that's already dependent on what family you're born into. I mean, you're talking to a guy whose parents are convicted felons. My dad was a drug dealer and my mother's an absolute.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't ask to be in that particular.
Well, no, exactly. That's my point, right? I mean, no kid has control where they're gonna come into this world. So if you're bringing something into this world, then you should, as a man or a woman, own up to that. A lot of people don't. And yeah, that does bother me. But on the same token, but that also goes back to the original point. Do I feel I miss out? I would not mind a steady girlfriend. I would not mind, dating a little bit more than I do. On the flip side, though, I mean, it's not quantity I want, it's quality. I want someone that's going to understand what I'm doing. And if I'm going to be with somebody that doesn't understand what I'm doing, there's no point. I might as well not worry about that at all, because they're not going to serve any real purpose for me other than maybe to scratch an itch once in a while, if that.
Oh, you know what the hard part is for me, man? I'm not gonna speak for you or for any of the listeners out there, but personally, it works in being a producer and in being a writer, but in relationships, I'm all over the map. I mean, I'll tell you how much I want to be in a steady, monogamous, loving relationship with kids and all this, and then I'll find a girl who's like that, and I'll be bored as hell. I want her to be dirty and raunchy, and that's not in her DNA. Then I'll be with a dirty, raunchy girl, and I think, gosh, I wish she was a little bit more pure and upstanding. So, and that's simplifying.
Oh, absolutely. But
the point is, there's all these different facets, and I wish I could find, a good girl / bad girl / cosplay girl /
They do exist, but I mean, the question you're gonna ask, like, again, this comes down to like, this is a personal question. Are you ready for that? Right? If you're just like, I want to have fun, then you know what? Every once in a while, choosing flavors isn't a bad deal. But if you're in a situation where it's like, okay, I like, for me, I know this. Like, any girl I date, she better have something she's going for. Because if she doesn't, I will be bored very, very quickly. I don't care how pretty she is. Right? Right. Because for me, I need someone, like, I'm a very passionate dude. I need someone with a passion in something. Right? Or otherwise, it is not going to work.
Well, what if her passion is for cheating on you?
Well, if that's her passion, I'll let her go off on her merry way. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna get in the way. I mean, I won't be involved in that. I mean, once it gets to that point, but I mean, I'm going for stuff and I'm doing my thing. It would stand to reason it's for me. I better be with somebody that gets that on some level. If they,
I get that. One of my friends is polyamorous, and I used to see him on podcast, and Nigel McGinnis, he's a WWE commentator, actually, to follow wrestling.
Yes.
Anyway, polyamorous, and his thing was that he always wanted to have a kid with a woman, but not tied to her. So he could date other women, she could date other dudes, but they raise a kid together. And I used to, just because I was apparently wrong, I'm going to follow through with it. I thought it was one of those shock value things. And lo and behold, now he has a damn kid.
Yeah.
And with a polyamorous girl from overseas. And that's what he wanted to do, and he made it happen. So.
Well, yeah. Well, again, it's about knowing who you are and what you want, right? And that's like, for me, like, I don't need someone that's necessarily writing books, but she better be doing something with herself. Otherwise, if she's just a 9-to-5er, I'm probably going to get bored with her, and she's probably going to hate me because I'm a flighty, unreliable, high-maintenance SOB.
The thing is, like, and this could rub some people the wrong way, but I'm not a big fan of people who, like, their only goal is to have a kid. I feel like you didn't accomplish your life, and now you're just like, I give up. Here's another one. Maybe there'll be something worthwhile. And there's been some people over the years that I saw, and like the girl's just working a dead end job. I'm like, what's your passion? What's your dream? What do you want to do? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, she's gonna have a damn kid. And then a few years later, she's got a kid. Like, shit, why didn't you pick something for yourself? What was your goal? What was your dream? What did you want to do?
But see, like, and this isn't okay. This isn't specifically just a girl thing. It's a guy thing too. A lot of people are afraid. This goes back to the comfort zone thing, right? When you have a dream and you want to go for something, well, a lot of people are going to tell you it's not realistic, and a lot of people buy that bullshit. One of my favorite TED Talks is why you were going to fail to have a great career. It's great because it's a university professor out of Ontario, and he talks about the whole concept of passion. And he said the excuse he hated the absolute most, but it's one a lot of people make, is I'm going to be good with human relationships. He says, and then he goes, this is how life is going to get you. Your kid's going to come to you one day, and he's going to tell you, I know what I want to do, and I'm still strictly from there. It's like, you know your kid's good at math, and he goes to you, I'm going to be a magician, a risky kid, a tough kid. But this is my dream. Well, I had a dream once too, but what ends up happening with a lot of people that just want a kid or want a family. There's nothing wrong with wanting a family. That's cool. But if you have nothing else, sooner or later you're going to look at your family like your jail. And and I've never ever have wanted to do that. Right? If I'm going to have a family, it's going to be with somebody that, like me, has got goals, that wants to do more in life, right? And my kids hopefully will be raised, to do better than I did, have bigger dreams than I had, go for it and crush it. Because that's what I'm hoping for, right? If I have a kid, right? But if I'm not doing those things, then it's at this point in time, it's not a good idea for me to have a family, because I'm not going to be able to provide what I feel I should, and I'm going to feel, cheated and so on and so forth. And a lot of people don't think in those terms. They think I'm going to go and I'm going to start a family because my parents did that, or I'm going to get this job at this place because everybody else does that. I'm going to get this education because everybody else does that. And it's not And that's not how life works at all. It's about what do you want? Like, you have the freedom to do what you want to do in this life, by and large. So, and a lot of people don't exercise it.
I'm motivated right now. You had one of those moment of clarity at it, Colin. But I've been on the fence about this, like, wife and kids and all this. The truth is, my goal is to put out my book. And there's a monster movie that I wrote the script for with a dear friend back in 2010. And I'd like to get this thing shot, and that's my goal. My goal is to put out books and make my monster movie. If I run into a good girl along the way, great. But I'm not going to be focused on, I need to have a kid in the next year. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I would like to that her and him, and I would be like, I got my monster movie I want to make, and you guys are in the damn way.
Yeah, and you don't want that. Like if you're gonna, like, if you're ready to have, like, a family and settle down, it's a little different. Like, I've done my monster movie. I've done my books. I'm incredibly happy with what I've done in this life. I'm proud of it. And I think I can have a family and I can do that with a clear conscience. That's a completely different discussion, Well,
that's great, man. That's great. Congrats. Are you going to stay in Canada, you think?
I have no idea. Right? Okay, so personally, I look at the United States and I cringe with what I see going on right now. It's not free. I think the ironic thing is the land of the free is anything but these days, it seems. And I think everybody over there is suffering from that, from top to bottom. I'm not sure there's a way out. So there's a part of me that goes, no. On the other hand, I would be selling a lot more books if I was living in the States. And I know that.
Yeah, nowadays is everything online.
Well, everything's online, but here's the thing, okay? So, give me an example. Calgary has an event, an art show, first Friday of every month. It's a little corner in this one section of the city that no one goes to. It sucks. Phoenix, Arizona has the same event in its city blocks. Everybody goes to that. Right? Just something to do. There are more platforms available down there still. And there's the fact that you're going for something, there's value in that down there. It's seen a lot more as valuable. Now you have a lot more con men down there on the flip side. Right? But
and the movie does, man. There's a lot of liars.
Oh yeah, integrity and authenticity are so hard to come by, and that's and I've learned this. I've learned this the hard way. It's such a hard thing. But ironically, it's just like for me, I couldn't be any other way than what I am. So there's a part of me that there's one part of me that thinks I could go down there and do better. And there's another part of me that thinks, but at what cost? And I'm not, so I'm kind of torn. Will I stay in Calgary? Long term? Probably not. I think short term, sure. But I could definitely see myself being kind of like one of these traveling shows. I actually had this thought in my head that I get like a trailer or a minivan kind of deal, like a mystery machine kind of deal, and I go across the country and I would just meet people that do cool shit and see if I can interview them. And figure out a way to monetize that enough so I don't have to, because I'm getting too old for this day job shit. And so I don't have to do that, and I can just make a living. I'd be perfectly content with that.
Yeah, well, do like a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So a history on page, and you could absolutely invest in a tour where you're going around, interviewing these really cool people. I think folks could get behind that, and you could bring like a documentary, some filmmaker buddies that you don't have to pay a ton of money like before, fresh out of college or something, and they would do it for the experience to be part of something that could go somewhere. And yeah, man, that sounds like it could have legs.
And that was part one of my conversation with Tim Chizmar. Part two will be up very shortly, and probably by Monday night, Tuesday morning. A couple things coming up this week. Mel V is doing her show September 7th. You should definitely check it out. I'm going to be posting more info on that in the days and weeks to come. Hold on a second here. And that was part one of my conversation with Tim Chizmar. Part two will be up very shortly. In the meantime, I'm just going to advertise a friend here before I wrap this show up quickly. My friend Mel V is doing a multimedia exploration of Black womanhood presentation this September 7th at the Community Rise Resource Center in Calgary. It'll be photography with poetry. Mel V is an upcoming guest on the show. I really, really was a blast to chat with her. And as for Tim, check out his books. As his books are all out now. He's been launching them since. You also check him out at First Comics. He does a column there. Part 2 will be up shortly. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. You can support the podcast. You can do so a number of different ways. Voting for the Aurora Awards closes September 8th. And I am nominated for Best Fan-Related Work. I'm against some wonderful competition. Also, there's just a lot of cool categories, a lot of good books, authors, and just artists and can end up being featured prominently here. You can vote for them at the Canadian Association of Science Fiction and Fantasy. And, I hope I got that right. Yeah, Canadian Science Fiction and Fantasy Association, I think is the actual way to say it. Aurora Month's going to be starting soon. As a result, definitely check out upcoming shows. Outside of that, subscribe to the podcast. You can do so here at Podomatic, or you can do so through iTunes if you leave a review. If you like the show. If you don't like the show, don't tell anybody. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Beyond that, my books, The Watcher, Storm Dancer, The Wandering God, are available through MirrorWorldPublishing.com, Amazon, Kobo, Indigo, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold. My YouTube channel is Joshua Penteloresco. My Twitter is at jpenteloresco. Talk to me. Say hi. What's up? All right? Hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll talk to you again soon.
Josh.